Hi, welcome to the Mathemagic channel. Today we have a very special guest, which is... What's your name?
Aiyana.
Okay, good. How old are you, Aiyana?
7.
7 years old, and you're in grade 3 at Discovery College. And so you've just learned with Daddy your square numbers, right?
Yes.
To 20. Okay, math needs squares. It's hip to be square. Do you know what hip means?
Like cool?
Like cool, yeah, it's hip to be nerdy. Okay, so let's go. Let's get started. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah? So, the first thing to think about is what is a square number? And Aiyana, do you know what a square number is?
Yes, it's when a number times itself.
When you multiply a number by itself. That's a very good definition, Aiyana. Well done. So yes, squaring a number means multiplying it by itself. Like when we do 5 squared, we mean 5 times 5, right?
Yes.
A lot of people think when we do 5 squared, it means 5 times 2, but that's not what it is. You need to multiply the number by itself. And by the way, as always, the slides and the description below. So if you would like to play this game with your child so that they can learn the square numbers, please download the slides and play this game so that they can learn the square numbers to 20. All right, so why are square numbers important? So do you know why they're important?
No.
No? Okay. Well, we use them a lot in mathematics, and here's some areas where you might use them. So Pythagoras theorem. Now, do you know what that is?
No.
No? So it's when you have a triangle and we have 2 sides and we're looking for the third side. And typically we square the sides, so knowing your squares is going to be pretty important. Quadratic equations. Do you know what a quadratic equation is?
No.
It's probably something you look at in grade 9 where you're looking at equations of umbrellas. Things that look like umbrella shapes, like umbrellas like U shapes up and U shapes down. What about square roots? Do you know what a square root is?
It's when...
It's like the reverse of squaring. So
if you say, what's 25 square root?
The square root of 25, and then you say, oh, that's 5 because 5 squared was 25, right?
Yeah.
And then multiplication in general, because let's say that you're doing 15 times 15, that's the same thing as 15 squared.
Yeah.
So you don't need to work it out because you already know it. Actually, even more than that, if we're going to take a deep dive in number theory, there is a technique called the midpoint multiplication method, which is super, super awesome. And that technique requires a student to know square numbers. So if you wanted to do something like 14 times 16, and the midpoint is 15, you could use that technique. Now, I have made a video about midpoint multiplication. If you guys are interested, you should definitely go ahead and watch that. And I will teach you midpoint multiplication, so you will learn that at some point. Okay? All right. But you need to know your squares for that. So do you know your squares?
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. So what is 7 squared?
49.
I think that's correct. Well done. What is 5 squared?
25.
Very good. What is 3 squared?
9.
9 is the correct answer. Well done. What is 0 squared?
0.
0, because 0 times 0 is just 0, right? Very good. What is 1 squared? 1? Okay, yeah. 1 times 1 is 1. You know, a lot of students say 1 squared is 2 because they think it's 1 times 2. So don't make that boo-boo, right? 1 squared is 1. What about 4 squared?
16.
Yes, not 8. 4 squared is 16. Very good. What is 2 squared?
4.
4. Very good. Okay, so far not too hard, right? What about 6 squared?
36.
36 is excellent. Well done, Aiyana. What about 8 squared?
64.
64 is very good, Aiyana. Well done. What about 9 squared?
81.
81 is the correct answer. Well done, Aiyana. 10 squared?
100.
That's easy. That's just the one
knows.
with... Not everybody knows, but a lot of people will know that 10 times 10 is 100. You just need to get the zeros right. Oh, getting past the 10s. Are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
Sure? Okay, 11 squared.
121.
Wow, but that's in your 11s times table, so I expect you to know that. That's good. What about 12 squared?
121.
No, we just said that was 11 squared, right? This is 12 squared.
Sorry, 144.
144, yeah. So that's the corner of the times tables, right? When we do 12 times 12. So this is kind of like where most people stop with square numbers, but we can go a little bit further than that, can't we? So 12 squared is 144. What about 13 squared?
100. 169.
That's a good answer, I think. Very good. Well done, Aiyana. What about 14 squared?
196.
196 for 14 squared. Well done. These are tough. What about 15 squared?
225.
That is correct indeed. Very good. Now, I would encourage any student up to grade 6 to know their squares up to 15. So if you're a student up to grade 6, you should know your squares to 15. Now, if you're up to grade 9 or grade 10, you should go up to 20. So what's 16 squared?
16 squared is 256.
Very good, Aiyana. What about 17 squared?
289.
That's excellent, Aiyana. Well done. What about 18 squared?
324.
324 is the correct answer. Good job, Aiyana. What about 19 squared?
361.
361 is correct. And so 20 squared?
Is 100.
100?
Oh, 400.
400, yes, that's better. So you did all the hard ones, and then 20 squared, you just like, meh. But yeah, 2 times 2 is 4, and then you stick 2 zeros behind it. But you knew that already. So wow, you know your squares up to 20. That's awesome, Aiyana. Well done. Did Daddy promise you something if you knew all your squares to 20?
Yeah.
What did I promise you?
You would buy me a toy.
I would buy you a toy. So there was some bribery involved. Do you know what bribery is?
Yes.
It's when people get you things to get you to do things. So bribery with kids works pretty well, right? It worked with you. Well done for your learning your squares up to 20. Yes, so 20 squared is 400. What does this say? I have a math joke for you, but
I'm too scared to say it.
I'm too scared to say. I'm not scared. Squared.
Yeah.
Is that funny or super bad?
Funny.
A little bit funny. Okay, all right. I don't need like super mega funny points, but a little chuckle is good enough. Okay, so everybody at home, I would encourage you to teach your kids squares to 20, especially for year 9, year 10, up to year 5, year 6. Squares to 15 are pretty important. And well done, Aiyana. Say goodbye to the people at home.
Bye.
And then maybe you can tell them they should learn their
Math.
yeah, not just math, but learn your squares.
Square.
Thank you so much, everyone. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.